I could take my time and spend probably an hour or so on this particular subject, and it would be well worth it. And that is the subject of the American diet. I've done several videos over the past decade on many subjects, and I've touched this subject several times. There's something called, it's a natural law, cause and effect. So, my question to you that are watching me right now, that are really interested in their general health and who are perhaps suffering with illness, chronic illness, and even disease of some sort or another, I want to encourage you that there is hope for those of you that take action. It's difficult to undo something that you've done all or most of your life. It's a habit, and that's drugs, that's various habits that you have obtained over your lifetime. Spending money, being a procrastinator, uh, even neglecting people that you say that you love and care about. It's difficult to change your what we call paradigm, which is what you're going to need to do in this particular instance, talking about this subject of health. You're going to have to change your paradigm. Your paradigm is how you think and operate every single day of your life. And it's the same. You've heard the expression. One sign of a person being the actual word slips me right now, kind of crazy, if you will. In other words, how do you think something is going to get better in your life if you don't change your present or current habits? Insanity, that's the word. A sign of insanity is doing what you've always done and expecting a different result. That's the saying. Do you honestly believe that you are going to be a healthy person, human being, man, woman, or child, and you're maintaining the same bad or poor habits? Let's be honest. Do you honestly believe that? So, my next question on top of that is this: how strong is your will to live? How strong is your will to do better and be better? Honestly, where the rubber meets the road, you have to address the elephant in the room, and you have to be willing to change the old you. And I'm speaking to myself as well because I have been victimized by the same industries that you have throughout my life, throughout all of our lives. You must understand and overstand that commercial food manufacturers don't care about your health and well being. That's a fact. Why is it a fact, brother teacher? It is so obvious when you look at the ingredients in the foods that they serve us, that they sell to us, containing so many different chemicals, so many different preservatives, artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, emulsifiers, flavor enhancers. I think I've told you a lot just right there. If this is too much for you to digest, you can leave this video right now. If you really care about yourself and your family and your well-being, then you can watch this video over and over again because it's beneficial for you. This is a gem that I'm leaving to you. Real food doesn't have ingredients. Understand that. Let's take a scenario right now. If you had a garden and you grew your own vegetables, carrots, cabbage, peppers, greens, spinach, corn, tomatoes, and even fruit, strawberries, cherries, peaches, and so on. Once you've planted those crops, at some point in time, they're going to be harvested by you, right? They are all organic, which means that they came from the earth. So that's what they are, organic, as we are. So now, as long as you don't put anything that's a chemical to keep the bugs off, to keep the fungus down, and to keep the animals from eating them up, as long as you don't put chemicals on your plants and your crops, you don't have to worry about ingesting or eating the crops with those chemicals. And later on, being diagnosed and having symptoms of cancer and other diseases and ill health. I've said a lot again. So, let's say your vegetables are good. Once you harvest your vegetables and pull them from the ground, how long do you think they last before they begin to wither away and die? Just a few days. I'm answering the question for you. Once you pull a peach off the vine or tree, or pull an apple off of a tree, or strawberries off of a vine, or grapes, they begin to die. True. Because their life source was the earth that it came from, right? Now, once you harvest it, pull it up, it's time to eat that produce within a reasonable amount of time. 2, 3, 4 days max before they start wasting away, dying. And then they will no longer be any good. The food industry knows this. So, when they are servicing millions of people, they're selling this produce in their stores. They can't keep it in the store longer than 3 or 4 days, so they can it. Some things they freeze dry. Some things they box, they package, they freeze, right? And they put chemicals in it to keep it sustained or in a state of suspension, if you will, for a longer period of time until their potential customers can purchase it. Yes, that's what they do. Because something living, once it is pulled from the ground or the earth or the tree or the plant or the vine, it begins to die. And so in their finite knowledge, they say, hey, we can sell more of this if we start changing the structure of it, we'll turn it into sauces, we will turn it into creams, we would turn it into other products, and we would just enhance it. We'll put some preservatives and some coloring and some different flavors and some salt and some sugar and so on in the process, keeping it on the shelf in some form or another so that the customers can buy our product. We'll even put it in a beautiful package, box, can, or bag, make it look real pretty to make it more appealing to the eyes. Put some nice logo on it, some nice pictures on it, so that it can sell. Keep it on the shelf a little bit longer than 3 or 4 days, right? So now it's been on the shelf, or it has a shelf life of 2 or 3 weeks. But all of the chemicals that they place in that food product is not stable in the human body. So through their finite knowledge again, they've taken their scientists, and their scientists have said, hey, we can put just this amount of chemicals, or this type of chemical, and that type of chemical, just a little bit of this in there, and it won't have any immediate effect in a negative sense or way on the human body unless it's consumed over a long period of time. So eating that colored cereal may not bother your child right now, but prolonged use and consumption of that product and many other products over a prolonged period of time, it will build up into this body. And the next thing you know, you have allergies, allergic reactions to this and that, and you wonder why. And then you're going to the doctor because you're having gut issues, stomach problems, gastrointestinal problems, headaches, heart palpitations, high blood pressure. You're diabetic now, type 1 and 2, insulin resistant. All kinds of things are happening to you that never did in the earlier years or months because your overusage and consumption of these products, that's not real food anymore because it has been compromised. The efficacy of nutrition has been compromised, all for the sake of $1. They want to make money from us, the consumer, so they can only do that if they can sell the product, and they can only sell the product if they have enough of the product, and they can only sell enough of the product if it stays on the shelf long enough. So what I'm saying to you is, our food in America has been denatured. There's a very small percentage of real food in our supply in the grocery stores. Everything else has been processed and ultra processed with chemicals. So the biggest issue is we are being severely malnutritioned. Yes, I said it. There's no nutrition. I won't say there's no uh, nutrition. It's minuscule uh, compared to what it should be. All of our food, excuse me, all of our food should be stocked full of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, protein, and so forth that enriches us as living organisms. And it's not that way in America. And it's all about the dollar. Food manufacturers are putting in waste in our foods. They're putting in a mixture of, I did say chemicals, so many additives, and a lot of the food that's supposed to be 100% real, it's been adulterated with so many different fillers. When I say fillers, I mean to make it seem as though it's stopped, or that it's thick or heavy. Just depends on what it is. Your soup's full of water, full of a whole lot of extra food products and scraps that they have left over. America doesn't waste anything. As a matter of fact, it's been heavily documented that America puts a lot of waste in our food products. You and I, the consumer, the regular consumer, would never know what the food manufacturers put in our food. We don't know. We assume that it's healthy, and they will put these labels on our food that say enhanced with, enriched with vitamin this and vitamin that, enriched and enhanced. You cannot denature a food that came from the earth, that has nature in it, by overcooking it, high temperatures, and chemically altering it, and think it's still going to have nutrition in it. It doesn't. You killed it. So they come back with a synthetic version of minerals and vitamins. You can't do that. Synthetic chemicals in the place of the real thing, it's not real. So your body knows that, because this is all intelligent. Our bodies has a mind of its own because it was innately put in us by the Creator. So I'm not going to beat up on you again with all of this and overwhelm you with this knowledge here. If you have any further questions, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that once you walk in the grocery store, 80% of the food aisles, it's all processed, ultra processed foods. When it's ultra processed and processed foods, it's not food. Looks like it, but it's not. The real food is really on the outskirts of the grocery store in your produce section. But beware of those foods that's been chemically sprayed, uh, glyphosate, which is also called Roundup, and other chemicals to keep down the bugs, and the fungicides and the herbicides and so on and so forth. You have to understand that we are consumers. We're not the producers of anything. And the people who are producing these things, they're producing them for a profit. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So, what are you going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? Read your ingredients. Be more vigilant about reading your ingredients on your food products, if you will, when you go to the grocery store and shopping and so forth. Start asking questions, and don't feel bad about asking questions. What's in this when you go to a restaurant? What's in the soup? What's in the chili? What kind of meat is it? Or where does it come from? It takes just a moment of your time. And if they get a little bit antsy when you ask them these questions in your restaurants when you go out to eat, don't feel bad. At the end of the day, it's about your health and your family's health and well-being. And the other thing I was going to say is this: if you have a house, if you live in a place where you can get your little plot of land and grow your own vegetables, do so. Was that expression? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's a true statement. Let's start planting our own garden. They really don't want you to, because they want you to buy their products, not create your own good and great health. This is Brother Teacher. I'll see you in the next one. So long.